Hello, my name is TJ and welcome to this impromptu live stream. Thanksgiving. I did plan for about an hour and a half ago to go live, and then I had trouble with a really bad migraine this morning. And about an hour before the live that I was supposed to have, I sort of had to pull out. But I feel okay right now. So I'm hoping that my friends and family who I originally was going to spend the day with on here will find me. So if you don't know, I usually do true crime. And on the live streams that I do, I usually go and cover cases from around the world, a lot in the US. But on my videos, if you go searching for my videos, you'll find that I absolutely do more true crime of New Zealand crime and videos. And like I say, on here, it's more coverage and chatter about cases from around the world. So originally, I wanted to have a place where people could come and tell us about what they're thankful for. Even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving in your country, everyone can be thankful for something, that's for sure. And I think even though here in New Zealand we don't celebrate it, we could be thankful for a lot of things. I'm also interested to see if anyone has pictures of the food and festivities that they had today from whereabouts you are, if you celebrated. Of course, because we don't have it, so I want to know. I know there's a lot of culture differences in the world. And one thing is you guys in America eat weird food compared to us guys. Just saying. And yeah, the green bean casserole is something that I've heard of and I've looked up, and it just looks gross to me anyway. I'm sorry if you are around the world and it's something that you enjoy, but nonetheless. So like I say, I'm hoping some of the people that I promised I would spend this live with will come in to the show shortly. I've got some strange Thanksgiving crimes to go over, which will be quite interesting. Yeah, so that's going to be very interesting. I wanted to give just a couple of rules, and I will type these out in a minute, but we're not going to talk about Brian Laundrie's parents today. It's Thanksgiving for them as well. Their first one without their son. They deserve to have this day without being attacked. And we don't discuss Summer Wells' parents in here. We're a non-drama channel. They also are having their first Thanksgiving without their child, and they deserve to enjoy it and not be accused and so forth of whatever, how it goes. So definitely a non-drama channel. So please chat. Let us know. How did you spend your Thanksgiving? Who was it with? Can you send us any pics at nzmissing@gmail.com? Let us know what you had to eat. Show us. Let us know what you're thankful for. Everybody's thankful for things, or hopefully people can be thankful for things in their life. And yeah, we've got a couple of things we could look into. I know that Michael Vaughan's parents have spoken in the last couple of days, so we may look into that. I do have information about Thanksgiving itself and how it came about, so it'll be quite interesting. So yeah, I think we'll just see how it goes along. But I want to read this short blurb from wikipedia.org. Thanksgiving is a national holiday celebrated on various dates in the United States, Canada, Grenada, St. Lucia, and Liberia. It began as a day of giving thanks and sacrifice for the blessing of the harvest and of the preceding year. Similarly named festival holidays occur in Germany and Japan, which I didn't know because I actually only believed that it was in the US only, and that was it. So very interesting. Thanksgiving is celebrated on the second Monday of October in Canada and on the fourth Thursday of November in the US, and around the same part of the year in other places. Although Thanksgiving has historical roots in religious and cultural traditions, it has been celebrated as a secular holiday as well. So that's interesting because I actually didn't know that other places apart from Canada and US have it. I knew that those two. But yeah, it's celebrated in a lot more countries than I imagined, and it's not always called Thanksgiving as such. I think it's called different things for different countries, and seems to celebrate different things in different countries as well. So it's definitely interesting. So if you have never chatted before, this is a safe space. We don't do drama in this channel. It's just usually a bunch of friends hanging out and chatting about whatever comes to mind, really. I wanted to start, though, by let's having a look at some strange Thanksgiving crimes. So I'm going to show you the next. Oh, hang on. Little Pookie, called Columbus Day in Canada. I'm glad you can make it, Pookie. I'm sorry I cancelled earlier. I had the biggest migraine and I just didn't know if I was going to be able to come on. So I've got it down, a little bit of a headache where I think I can manage it. So I think hopefully it will be okay. And happy Thanksgiving, Pookie, to you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. So let's have a quick look at a couple of, just have to share my screen and we'll read a couple or one or two while we wait for some more people to come in. So this one is Odee.com, ODDEE.com, and I'm just going to read number one. Man robbed at gunpoint for turkey. Dispatcher buys him another. As Jimmy Mulligan from Bridgeport, Connecticut was walking to his friend's house, an armed man came up and demanded the turkey and stuffing, along with his wallet and plastic bags of goodies. When he called 911, the dispatcher initially thought he was joking. However, when police arrived at the scene, they determined it was true. Dispatcher Denny Vieira felt so bad for the man, she decided to help him out. She and her co-workers, bought 2 turkey dinners from Boston Market and had them delivered to Mr. Mulligan. Well, that's lovely. Little Pookie says, thank you, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah, so bear with me. I'm just going to quickly go to my Facebook page and let people know that we have indeed gone live. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to rally those troops around that we're planning to be here with us, Little Pookie. Hopefully they'll find them soon. Okay, so I'm going to read number 2. Greedy/clumsy Thanksgiving crook caught picking up loot. Johnny Anton Love attempted to rob a gas station in Miami Gardens, Florida on Thanksgiving Day 2013. The clerk, David Paul Lamore, was calm and collected. He befriended the robber and told him that he should help himself to some beer. Meanwhile, he secretly triggered the alarm. Love grabbed so much beer that on his way out of the store, the bags broke and scans scattered, but they didn't. Cans scattered across the parking lot. When the police arrived, Love was busy trying to pick up the beer and hide the money in his clothes. Sometimes people make you wonder. I don't think it in crime, and I don't think it's necessarily just a Thanksgiving thing. So just for yesterday and today, we are not doing our normal routine of covering cold cases in our live streams, or for me making videos right now on New Zealand cases, because I just need a week or so off. I've been getting headaches. I've been extremely fatigued, extremely sore, and I've got some important stuff going on at work. And these are things that I have to be really onto it for, because I'm dealing with people's lives. And so I need to be on the best top of my game. You know what I mean? So I just need to put this down after today for just a week or so, just to collect myself back again. And my work, I enjoy my work. I enjoy my job. And I want to be the best at it that I can be. Although I get a small amount sometimes from YouTube, it's not enough to live on. Actually, it's only enough to just have a little bit of a treat now and then, or put it back into the channel. So I definitely have to make sure that I am putting my best foot forward into work. So, little Pookie, please tell us, what have you done today? Did you celebrate with anybody? What did you eat? Let us know those weird and wacky things, and tell me what you are thankful for if you're watching. I am thankful for my children. I love my children very much. I'm thankful that this thankful for my job. I love my job, and I'm thankful to the New Zealand Mysteries community. So we've got the New Zealand Mysteries Facebook page, and I've got nearly 10,000 people there. And when I post videos about New Zealand cases, I'm lucky because they are amazing, sharing them all around New Zealand to get the most likes and views, I should say, views of we can, because the more people see them, the more they might be able to help solve a case. I am extremely thankful and grateful for the relationships that I have made on YouTube. It's not always the easiest domain for me to navigate, I must say, but I've really made what I call friends and feel like I have a bit of a family, and I got to be really thankful for that, because without those people that I meet, then it's nothing, is it? So, okay, well, we'll see. We'll see who turns up. If no one turns up in a little while, I'll just cancel the live out. But I just felt real bad because I had one organised and then I had to give it up. So let's look at number 3. Woman stabs half-brother during turkey dinner. Doesn't sound like everyone's thankful at that table. Thanksgiving dinner can be a time of family stress, but need it go this far? Shanika Alsop of Baltimore, who was arguing at the table with half-brother Deontay Antonio Wallace, grabbed the 2-pronged serving fork and jabbed it into his neck. He was taken to the hospital with minor wounds, and she was charged with assault. Assault. So that's not a very this is quite a boring story, isn't it? I think there's heaps of people that have probably felt like stabbing their family members with the turkey 2-pronged fork. That's for sure. Okay, let's look at number 4 for a happy Thanksgiving crime. Little Pookie says, let's have a look. I am thankful every day for blessings. I have wonderful relationships with family and friends. I've learned to be happy with who and where I am in life. I like that, Little Pookie. I'm happy with who and where I am in my life as well. I just need to slow down sometimes, and let my body catch up. But I am definitely thankful where I am. So this is the creepiest crime on our list. This guy is called Gilberto Vale. He was an NYPD officer who was arrested in 2012 because of disturbing pictures his wife found on his computer. It turns out he had a list of women he was stalking and often fantasized about cooking and eating them. Yuck. In one chat room, he boasted he was going to have girl meat for Thanksgiving. In spite of these disturbing conversations, a judge overturned his convictions. Say what? Saying the former officer was just fantasizing. He was freed in 2014 after serving 21 months and returned to live with his mother, who promised to cater to his every need. That's disgusting. It's a bit old Jeffrey Dahmer going on there. Ooh. And then instead of seeing the turkey like in this picture here, now I'm thinking of heads and stuff, which is not really what it's about. Little Pookie, my celebration will be on Sunday this year as my babies had plans for today out of town. That's okay, as long as you can find time to be with them, hopefully all at once. That's what matters. Every day can be Thanksgiving Day, or what we are thankful for day, or something like that. Let's have a look at number 5 on this list. Cool cop lets rich driver off on Thanksgiving. To counter the creepiest cop ever, we now present the coolest. A video recently surfaced of a cop that pulled over a vehicle on Thanksgiving Day for speeding. It was shot by the car's passenger. While writing up the ticket, the cop asks the driver what kind of car it is. It turns out it was a super fancy Mercedes G55 AMG. Never heard of it, worth $100,000. That's probably why. The man then disclosed he worked for an oil and gas company. Impressed, the cop asked the driver to put it in neutral and rev the engine. By the end of the exchange, the cop tears up the ticket. What an ass, really. Or was he cool? Or just a tool to the rich? It says in here, I'm thinking it was a tool of the rich. Yeah. I don't like, that's discrimination against people that drive like little lemon cars, you know what I mean? Some of us can't afford a Mercedes G55 AMG, that's for sure. Interesting. We all have heard about D.B. Cooper's perfect Thanksgiving heist. If you're not familiar, I'll read it out, but most of us in the true crime world are quite aware of who D.B. Cooper is and what he got away with. One of the most famous stories. So let's have a look. On November 24, 1971, a man wearing a suit, dark glasses, and raincoat boarded a plane in Washington under the name Dan, or D.B. Cooper. He sat in the back and calmly lit a cigarette. This is, of course, when you could sit on planes and smoke. And it says it was the 1970s. Back then, people could smoke on planes in the US. Then he handed the stewardess a note that said he had a bomb and wanted $200,000. He hijacked the plane to Seattle and released the passengers when the money was delivered. Then he ordered the plane back into the air, and when it was over the mountains near Portland, he strapped on a parachute and jumped. To this day, Cooper was never seen again, and $6,000 of the money was ever found, and only $6,000 of the money was ever found. And imagine how much it was worth back then as well. And no one knows what happened to all that money, or indeed him. This is one of the most famous Thanksgiving heists and considered a perfect crime. providing that DB survived the jump. And I'd like to think that if he didn't survive the jump, then they would have found him, or remnants of him, I guess. Yeah. So because I'm still setting up the stream, I apologize. It's just been, headaches, migraines, I should say, are the absolute worst. So it's been really, really tough today. But I just wanted to come on. So, yeah, DB Cooper, I'll put this in the description box below. What I'll try and do at some time is put links to membership to join, if you can join the membership, ways to donate, or links to the Facebook page, website. That's the word I was looking for. The website, all things like that. So you can find out where to go and what to do. I ask you if you can subscribe and like if you like this sort of thing. Like I said, it's not a normal thing. It's just something we're doing Thanksgiving. Otherwise, next time I come on live in just over a week or so, we should be back into cold cases. On that note, if you have cold cases from around the world to suggest that we have a look on our live streams when I come back, nzmissing@gmail.com, you can send me case suggestions. But let's look at number 7 in a minute, because I want to say hello, Kelly. Happy Thanksgiving. We're enjoying steamed crab with Mexican street corn this Thanksgiving. I have never eaten or ate, I don't know the right word there, a crab in my life because I have not had seafood. But welcome, Kelly. I'm glad you're here. Send us any pics, nzmissing@gmail.com if you want to send pics. I might be able to put some pics on screen if you've got anything left over to show us. So, number 7, outspoken actress and singer Cher doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. She tweeted her feelings about the holiday in November 2013 when asked by a follower. The pop diva says she feels the day celebrates the beginning of a great time against Native Americans. Cher is part Cherokee and claims the Pilgrims stole the land and gave her people smallpox. Wow, so she's definitely got a lot of belief around what happened there. And I haven't, even though I've got Wikipedia here, I haven't had the time or the headspace to read over the whole thing to see how it was formed and everything like that. To say whether her beliefs may have some basis or fact to them, I can't say because I haven't read that information. Even if you want to go to our Facebook page, and you can message me through there if you have any photos that you'd like me to show as well. That's another easy way to get hold of us. So let's look at number 8 on this list. Carjacker hit with frozen turkey. Irene Bailey was loading Thanksgiving groceries in her car when an assailant threw her to the ground at a BP gas station in North Carolina. A horrified bystander grabbed the frozen turkey that Bailey had purchased and hit the man over the head with it. That would be like a rock. The man, Fred, was still able to take her car, but officers later captured him. They found him suffering from a serious head wound and took him to hospital. A frozen turkey. They're big things, and they're frozen things. You guys would know more than me because we don't eat a lot of turkey here, but we do have our chickens. I like chickens when they're dead. I'm scared of birds, so I'm scared of chickens when they're alive, but when they're dead, I like them. Let's look at number 9. Sorry, just answering someone there. On the night before Thanksgiving of 2012, a man stuck a bottle of beer, bags of sugar, and some parsley under his sweater and tried to sneak out of a Seattle area store. So, bottle of beer, bags of sugar, and some parsley. That's interesting, isn't it? Of things to need to take all at once. When he was apprehended, he punched the security guard in the face. He was finally tackled, cuffed, and booked for robbery. Weird. I suppose you don't know. Maybe he ran out of sugar and his wife sent him to get parsley and he didn't. He needed parsley. I mean, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, do you? So maybe he needed parsley, obviously. Now, I do know that Michael Vaughan's parents spoke yesterday, and even though this is Thanksgiving, a Thanksgiving show, I just did want to also look at that. Let's have a wee look. If I can find where it was. All right. So this is a 5-year-old monkey, they called him. His name is Michael Vaughan. And even though you hear of one child that's missing a lot on YouTube, there is other children around your country, around the US, that are going missing as well. This is the LatinTimes.com. So Michael Joseph Vaughan update, monkey. Idaho police say search on 4 months after boy went missing. Let's go over the details for those who are not aware of it. A 5-year-old boy in Idaho who has gone missing since July is nowhere to be found. The boy's family has pleaded for a safe return home in a press conference Thursday. Investigators have once again vowed to continue their search until they locate the child and bring him home. Michael Joseph Vaughan was last seen near his home in Fruitland on the evening of July 27th. So it's getting to be a little while since this little man's been missing. So really, really scary. According to Fox News, local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies have come together in a desperate search, having combed the area around town and following tips and leads authorities have received since his disappearance. The search for little Michael will not stop until he is found, and the search remains very active. Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff said while assuring both family and residents that they are working tirelessly on every single lead so far. Hang on. I'm going to start that again because I read that wrong in my head and it sounded like I was reading like shit. Let's try it again. The search will not stop until he is found. The search remains very active. This coming from Fruitland Police Chief J. Huff. And he said this while assuring both family and residents that they are working tirelessly on every single lead so far. None have provided the authorities with the claims, sadly. He said, we work on these every single day. We just find out that they take us nowhere at the end of the day. So this is the wee man. Yeah, just absolutely devastating. The police chief said his investigators, along with the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, with special tool canines, have done a methodical search of close to 1,000 acres where the boy was last seen. The search for Michael has been ongoing over the past 115 days. Police have done a sweep of the area within a 2-mile radius of his home. Local homeowners have also joined in the search that has reached towards Interstate 84 and the Snake River. The geographical search was based on the highest probability that the boy had wandered off and may have been hurt or had gotten stuck in an irrigation ditch. Police are not discounting the possibility the boy may have fallen into a swimming pool, had gotten lost and found in refuge in an outbuilding or even an old junk vehicle. So they really were thinking of any possibilities of where he could be. It's just darn annoying. I don't know if you can see those ads. Huff said anywhere a 50-pound curious boy could hide himself. So this cop believes there is an increased possibility the child was abducted, citing how multiple searches and tools used by investigators have failed to lead them to any sign or trail. The FBI has also been involved in the investigation, whereby a notice of the child's disappearance has been dispatched to law enforcement nationwide. At this point, there are no definite suspects, but police are looking for 4 people who were in the area around the same time the boy had disappeared. 2 of the individuals were seen on foot on the evening of July 27th, while 2 vehicles were seen leaving the area that same night. So the city has offered a reward of $50,000. I will put the links to every article that we look into in the description box below. So if you want to go and have a look more into them, that you can. So Little Pookie says, oh, Kelly, if you're still here, let me know what you're thankful for. Little Pookie says, traditional American meal for Thanksgiving includes the turkey, candied sweet potatoes. Are you calling sweet potatoes and yams the same thing? Is that what I'm getting? The green bean casserole that I've decided that it's got green beans in it. And if they're the same green beans we have in New Zealand, then it sounds disgusting. And then it's got fungus in it. I don't have fungus. I don't eat fungus. That's stuff you get on the side of your foot or some stuff. Dinner rolls, biscuits, and cornbread. I've never tried cornbread. And biscuits are like scone kind of dumpling things for you, where over here a biscuit is a cookie. Jelly and cranberry sauce. Cranberry sauce is good. I must admit, I have cranberry on my pizza sometimes, even though there's other fruit that doesn't belong on pizzas. Come on, computer, you can do it. You can tell I'm going to have trouble with my computer. Come on, my computer, please. Okay, sorry, guys. My computer's been doing the fucking funky chicken. I didn't set. Sugar, hey, TJ, happy Thanksgiving. I'm in the middle of making me my broccoli casserole. Oh, yum. Make sure you send me pictures. Hello, MW Crime. Good to see you all. So you couple of people that have come in. I did cancel it earlier because I had really, really bad migraine and I just didn't think I could cope. But I've got it down to a in the back headache that I can manage because I did want to catch up with everyone for your Thanksgiving. Yeah, I promise. You know, I said that I was going to catch up with you guys and I felt really bad because I wanted to see you, you know. I'm proud that we I'm proud of the small family that we have in this room. There might not be a lot of us, but it's more than enough for me to have meaningful conversations with you guys and actually interact with you as much as I can. And I just want it to feel like we're all sitting around the lounge or the kitchen table having yarn, looking at stuff, talking about food, because food's a good thing to talk about. Little Pookie says stuffing, squash, giblet gravy, and pumpkin pie. That the pumpkin pie is a bit of a weird one because our pumpkins here are savory, not sweet. Yeah, me too, MW. Absolutely. I don't know how long it will be, but at least I made it, right? And hopefully some other people make it. We'll see. So we were just going over looking at Michael Vaughan's or Monkey's story again. And I just don't want him to be forgotten. His parents are still out there searching for him. And it's just really, really sad. Again, we're not going to talk about, I know there was an update on Brian Laundrie's case yesterday. Today, Thanksgiving is not the day to talk about his parents. We're going to let them have their day. And same with Summer Wells' family. I don't usually let people slander their family at all. We've got no evidence to suggest they did anything at this stage, and they deserve to have their Thanksgiving as well. Little Pookie says, sweet potatoes and yams are not the same thing, but the words are commonly used interchangeably. So we have the kumara, which is also sometimes called a sweet potato. So I don't know if that's like the same one. Oh, check Facebook. All right, I'll check Messenger. I'm hoping that Curious Kiwi will come around tonight. Oh, Crystal sent a photo. Oh, sorry. I just doxed you. Copy image. Hang on a minute. Oh, that looks nice. I wish you guys could see what I'm having. No, hang on. Save image. Okay, I'm going to blame my fogginess on my headache. I know I could blame it on a whole number of things. Just me in general, I can blame it on myself. But yeah, okay. Right, I'm going to try and bring up this photo of this broccoli. Summer Smiles, hello, welcome. I'm just letting you know we don't talk about the Summer Wells case in here, and we don't do drama, so please be aware of that. Broccoli. So I'm going to try and bring it up on this other page, and I'm going to show you Sugar's broccoli. So this just looks like broccoli and cheese sauce. Am I right? Close enough? Because that's what we have. We have broccoli and with some cheese sauce. That's really nice. We're just waiting for my computer. Here we go. Oh, look. See, I can't even. Oh, yes, I can make it bigger. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is broccoli and cheese sauce. That looks amazing. That definitely has making my eyes water. Thank you for that, Sugar. I know that I have steamed broccoli all the time. I used to hate broccoli when I was a kid. Now I really, really love it. That's awesome. Thank you. So if anyone else wants to send pics of what they got on or what food or celebrations were going on, just let us know. Let me know. We can put them on. I think this here, oh, we have cauliflower cheese, Summer Smile said. We have cauliflower cheese too, but I'm not a fan of cauliflower. I don't know. Maybe it's not the same. Broccoli is the best. So Summer Smiles, whereabouts are you? And what did you do for your Thanksgiving? And what are you thankful for? Sorry. Guys, I tell you what. The computer is just driving my headache. It's a headache. Oh, you're from UK. Oh, wow. So do you guys celebrate Thanksgiving there? I think we were looking at I was looking at some countries that actually do. United Kingdom has the Harvest Festival of Thanksgiving, but not an official date. So you do have the harvest, apparently. There's a lot more things that are like Thanksgiving than I thought. Oh, that annoys me. I think next year I'm going to seriously have to think about some sort of way to get a You know, if I continue live streaming and stuff, I'm going to have to figure out a way to continue to figure out a way to buy a new computer. Because this one just like, there's so much stuff I want to like do with you guys, and there's so much I want to look at, but it just won't do it. I know if you're in the US, and I'm not sure about the UK, but I know in the US you're going into your winter, where you're going into our summer. It's like 23 degrees Celsius today. It's hot, so I've got fans going. Oh, you're eating soon, NW Crime. Nice. Just a ham. Well, that's all right. Ham doesn't take as much to cook, I don't think, as turkey. I think hams come pre-cooked here, except you just got to like cook them for a little while, but not that long. Yorkshire, UK. I actually don't know much about the UK. Like, I wouldn't have a clue where Yorkshire is. So I did find this other page. This is called aeasyoutbailbonds.com. I should say, /10 of the wildest Thanksgiving Day crimes that ever took place. So, a couple here. 15-year-old boy shoplifts entire Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, one 15-year-old from Little, Texas, attempted to shoplift 4 different smoked turkeys. 4, like, turkeys are huge, man. Okay, along with fixings, sodas, and more for a grand total of $200. His strategy? Lining the outside rim of the shopping cart with toilet paper and soda to hide the pricey turkeys. Yeah, because immediately when they started, I'm like, how the dude going to like hide 4 turkeys on his person? There's no trench coat that's going to hide 4 turkeys. What a dick. Thanksgiving car thief finds baby in the back seat. Oh no, that sounds bad already. One grand theft auto occurred on Thanksgiving 2014 when one 19-year-old got more than he asked for when he discovered, upon robbing an SUV from a New Orleans gas station, that there was a 1-year-old infant in the car. He wisely abandoned the SUV after driving for 15 minutes, but was charged anyway with the kidnapping and the theft. Oh, poor guy. He should have kept his thieving hands to himself then, shouldn't he? Summer smiles. Apparently there's a scare of bird flu starting in the UK. That's horrible if that's the case. I haven't seen that on the news, but if that's the case, that's awful. Like, you don't need to be worried about what's currently going on, huh? You need the bird flu as well. Crazy. We've got wine theft goes wrong. So on Thanksgiving 2013, 2 thieves stole 200 wine cases valued at a total of $648,000. They stole the goods from Esquin Wine and Spirits in Seattle and were subsequently charged with second-degree theft, first-degree arson, and second-degree burglary. So that wasn't a good decision. Idiots. I'm really thirsty. I'm trying to keep hydrated so I can try and keep this headache at bay. Lady Gaga's garage broken into on Thanksgiving Day. In 2012, surprisingly, 35 of Lady Gaga's biggest fans broke into her garage on Thanksgiving while she was out celebrating in Peru with her family. The fans camped out in her garage until she arrived back at her house and found the trespassers still at her home. That would be scary, poor chick. Finding anyone in your home after you come back is pretty damn scary. And fans, you don't know if they're deranged or what. Little Pookie says, sounds like a lot of content for the program called America's Dumbest Criminals. Exactly. You're onto it. Woman threatens someone with a hatchet over a Trivial Pursuit game. So you guys that are in here, there's only about 6 of yous. I know there's a couple like lurking there. What do you do? Do you play games together on your Thanksgiving with your family, or do you play anytime? Do you play board game with your family? And I'm betting if you do, some people will have those family members that are really taking it seriously, especially if you played like Monopoly or something. Summer says, yes, it is. We don't need bird flu too. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So one Thanksgiving, a board game got too real, and one woman drew a hatchet on her opponent over a disagreement during the game. State troopers came to the house, seizing her hatchet and finding it was, in actuality, drug paraphernalia. If you haven't been here before, but you all know me because you probably have, I stumble some mouth mush sometimes when I'm tired. And other times it's just me. So state troopers came to the house, seizing her hatchet and then finding it was, in actuality, drug paraphernalia. We hope none of these crimes happen to you this holiday season. So without further ado, have a happy Thanksgiving weekend and a holiday that's perfectly crime-free. Interesting. Hey, Miller, it's good to see you. Yeah, I know, right? Why not? You know, it wasn't that easy to find Thanksgiving crimes as such. So, you know, no game, says MW Crime. Pokey says we talk and eat too many people to play a board game. So you must have quite a few. Right, now, I just want to look for something, and I pray the guy that did that drive-through at the Wisconsin holiday parade. Look at my hair. Look at that. Look at that. I had seen a video yesterday of him in court, and I was just trying to see if I could find it again, because that was actually quite interesting. So, but being that my computer's been a dick, I don't know how good we will find it. Summer says, my husband is American. I lived in Georgia for 4 years, so did go to Thanksgiving. Awesome. So you're lucky enough to have them. Like I say, I mean, if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving as such, you know, you certainly can be thankful for things any time of the year, can't you? And have a dinner with your family whenever it can be to try and get together and tell each other what you can be thankful for, I guess. I think that's a nice thing to do. Oh, I'm hoping I can find this clip. You know, of course, if I'd stuck to my original timing of going live, I could have had this all sorted, but I did not. That's the way life goes. I'm just going to look for it on YouTube. I think that's where I've seen it. Is there an update? Has anyone had an update of those people in Wisconsin? Such a terrible, terrible tragedy. And one of the interesting things I found out while listening to it is that his criminal past was actually something quite interesting. Okay. Hopefully these words bring up what I'm looking for. We will soon see. I think I may have found it. So let's have a look here. Okay, this isn't the long one that I was looking for. This is the Telegraph. You see he's got a bulletproof vest on. Darrell Brooks Jr. appeared in court Tuesday. Maybe that's the and it says he sobs in court. Well, I'm just trying to find.
I know that's extraordinarily high bail. It's warranted here, and I am setting cash bail in the amount of $5 million.
Oh, $5 million.
I wish to notify the court, sadly, that today we learned of another death of a child related to this case. We do expect a 6th count for first.
Sorry, I'll rewind that, guys, because I was just muttering through that whole damn thing. I'm sorry about that. But I just wanted to see if I could find the longer video of it. So just let me see if I can find it, because it was actually really interesting. He had days before ran over his girlfriend. Exactly, Pookie. That's the one I was trying to find because that had a lot of information about him. Let's copy and paste that. Otherwise, I'll rewind this one, but definitely. Okay, so this is a 5-minute one. So we'll have start a look at this one. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but I did think it was quite interesting. We can chat while we listen to it. We are looking at Fox 6 News Milwaukee, and I will put the link in the description box below of this as well, so you can also see it if you wish. So let's watch this for a minute. I just want to fix up description and links and stuff below while you guys are watching this for a minute. If I was him, I'd be wearing a bulletproof vest too.
Just a second, please. Hold it. So, folks, we're going to get started. I know emotions are running very high in this case. If you feel like you need to step out of the courtroom, please do. I expect everybody to protect themselves.
Can you guys hear this okay?
Despite some of the allegations you're about to hear. If you feel that it's too much for you to hear, please step outside. Also, audio and visual are not allowed here via the Supreme Court order. We have one camera that's a pool camera, so that's all that we're doing here today. So please refrain from recording or videotaping this. So with that, if we could proceed.
Not really. I'll try and turn it up a bit. Okay, it's up as high as I can put it.
This is case number 21 CF 1848, State of Wisconsin versus Darrell Brooks. Matters tabbed to Judge Lau. Appearance by the state, please.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Sue Apper and Leslie Basie, appearing for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. And for Mr. Brooks.
Darrell Brooks appears in person in custody with attorneys Anna Keyes and Jeremy Perry. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. And we are here on a criminal complaint that's now been filed. Mr. Perry, will Mr. Brooks acknowledge that he has received a copy of that complaint, and will he waive its reading in open court here today?
We have received copies of the criminal complaint. We waive formal reading.
Thank you. It may at some point be relevant, but the address on the complaint is accurate.
That's right.
Thank you. And Mr. Brooks, I have reviewed a copy of this criminal complaint. I will find it does state probable cause as to each of the 5 charges before you. You're charged in count 1 with first-degree intentional homicide. It's a Class A felony, and that has a maximum possible penalty of being sentenced to for life at victim A. Count 2, first-degree intentional homicide regarding victim B, is a Class A felony. Again, the maximum possible sentence is a sentence to imprisonment for life. Count 3, first-degree intentional homicide regarding victim C, is again a Class A felony, and that's punishable by a sentence to imprisonment for life. Count 4, first-degree intentional homicide regarding victim D, again, is a Class A felony. That's punishable by a sentence to imprisonment for life. Lastly, count 5, first-degree intentional homicide regarding victim E, is a Class A felony. That is punishable by a sentence to imprisonment for life. As those are felonies, you're entitled to have counsel. You're entitled to have also a preliminary hearing. And I, again, have found probable cause to each of the 5 counts upon my review of the pleading. So we will turn to Attorney Opper for her bail recommendation.
Thank you, sir. As to bail recommendation, Your Honor, I'd like the court to be aware of a prior criminal history as it relates to Mr. Brooks. I can advise the court he has arrest record from 3 states to include Wisconsin, Nevada, and Georgia. Starting with the state of Wisconsin, the record begins in 2000. There was a conviction in that year for substantial battery, party to a crime. A prison sentence was imposed but stayed for 3 years probation and 6 months condition time. 2002, conviction for possession of marijuana as a repeat offender, sentenced to 50 days in the House of Correction. 2003, misdemeanor conviction for resisting obstructing, sentenced to 20 days in the House of Correction. 2005, there's an arrest from Langlade County. Ultimately, he was convicted of a county ordinance violation for disorderly conduct. What's remarkable about that is that he failed to pay the fine, so he was ordered to serve 30 days in jail on the non-payment. 2009, Manitowoc County conviction for obstructing an officer, sentenced to 2 days jail time served. 2010, conviction from Wood County, Wisconsin. He was convicted of the offense of strangulation/suffocation with other charges of battery and criminal damage to property dismissed and read in. The court ordered a withheld sentence for 3 years probation. That probation was revoked, and on August 1 of 2011, he was sentenced to 11 months jail. 2012, he was convicted at the same time on 2 separate files in Milwaukee County. First file was a charge for possession of marijuana as a repeat offender, sentenced to 180 days in the House of Correction. The second file, he was convicted of misdemeanor bail jumping and misdemeanor possession of THC, also sentenced to 180 days in the House of Correction, concurrent to the other case and concurrent to each other. In May of 2012, there was a conviction for resisting obstructing. He was sentenced to 37 days jail consecutive to the earlier sentence imposed in April of that year. He's currently pending on 2 charges in Milwaukee County. 2020 CF 2550, he's charged with 2 counts, second degree.
So we're hearing about his past criminal record, and these last couple of charges that are pending in Wisconsin are quite serious.
Recklessly endangering safety while armed, and 1 count of felon in possession of a firearm. The date of that offense, or excuse me, all 3 offenses, is July 24 of 2020. He was arrested shortly after that incident and remained in custody in the Milwaukee County Jail until released on bail there for reasons of a speedy trial violation on March 3 of 2021. Bail at that time was lowered from $7,500 cash bail to $500 cash bail. In that case, Your Honor, it is alleged that he got into a fight with his nephew. The defendant fired one round from a handgun toward the vehicle that his nephew was in. The vehicle was occupied by another person, and that accounts for the 2 charges of reckless endangering safety. The next day, he was taken into custody, and the residence where he was located, he was found to have a loaded 9mm handgun just a few feet away from him. The handgun was previously reported stolen. Again, he was a convicted felon on that date, so that accounts for the 3rd charge. He's also currently pending in Milwaukee County case number 21 CF 4596. That has a date of offense of November 2, 2021. He's charged there with resisting, obstructing, felony bail jumping, 2nd-degree reckless endangering safety in a domestic violence situation, domestic DC, and domestic battery. The allegations in that case, Your Honor, are that he struck the mother of his child in the face with a closed fist. Then as she was walking away from him, he intentionally ran her over with his vehicle. The vehicle in that matter described as what's believed to be the same maroon 2010 Ford Escape used in the allegations in this case. Police went to his home and found him getting out of that Ford Escape. The defendant ignored their commands to stop, and he tried to run into the house before he was apprehended. There's a long history of flight, obstructing, bail jumping type behavior, Your Honor. It's remarkable that these are violations all around the state of Wisconsin, not just his home county of Milwaukee, but we had convictions from Wood County, Manitowoc, and Langlade. I'd like the court to be aware of a record from the state of Nevada. We'll go to Nevada first. That happened, the first conviction was from December 11th of 2006. He was found guilty at trial of a misdemeanor count for obstructing an officer, was sentenced to jail in Nevada.
Yeah, you're right. He's got a list as long as your arm. And thanks, Little Pokey 39.
So on that same day of December 11, 2006, he pled guilty to a domestic battery as a misdemeanor, and the court there ordered a suspended sentence. On March 16th of 2007, he pled guilty to statutory sexual seduction, a felony. The court ordered a suspended sentence for 36 months probation. He was also ordered to register on the Nevada Sex Offender Registry. He is currently noted to be non-compliant with that registration requirement. On June 23rd of 2016, he was charged with a sex offender registry violation, first offense. He failed to appear in court, and a warrant remains active for his arrest. So he currently has an outstanding warrant for his arrest in the state of Nevada. In Georgia, you're on.
So I'm not quite sure what this, what we're watching in the side, like this doorbell sort of camera. I do know that the truck was parked in a suburban driveway not too far. I'm wondering if this was the place maybe it was found or something like this. Again, of course, I'll put the description or the link in the description box below. So I'm not quite entirely sure what this is about.
The record reflects a May
nothing like that summer where smiles
arrest
seen
for misdemeanor battery with a designation of family violence. While it is not clear if he was convicted, he did recently remark to a court official in this county that he had served a 6-month jail sentence in Georgia. So we have not been able to verify if that was a conviction, but certainly there was a confinement in conjunction with that arrest. He has no contact with the criminal justice system in Waukesha County or the district attorney's office. He does have a outstanding paternity case that's been pending since
So what we've just noticed is that was he going up to that house, knocking on the door, and then it seems like a couple of minutes later, if this is all in chronological order, that the police were there pretty quickly to find that truck and to find him. Thank goodness they found him. There was a picture of the truck. It had extreme fronting damage.
In which he was adjudicated as the father of a juvenile. And there's been returned court appearances over the years based on failure to pay child support.
You're right, Mullet.
The court should know that a warrant or capias was issued for Mr. Brooks in this paternity case on at least 8 occasions. He has been sentenced to jail on several prior occasions for failing to pay that child support. And on one occasion, he had his Huber privileges revoked related to one of those jail sentences. That was back in 2009. Most recently, there was a warrant issued for his arrest in that non-support civil case on August 2 of 2021. Judge Maxwell signed an order for him to serve a 120-day jail sentence.
Look how fast he's going.
Mr. Brooks did make a court appearance in that matter on November 16th of 2021, so just last week, 1 week ago. And he was released at that time.
Did you see how fast he was driving? I know it's a pain that I have to keep stopping it, but fair use means, from what I can gather, that you can play something as long as you're stopping to talk about it. So that's what I'm doing, and also just pointing out stuff. But like I said, this is Fox 6 News Milwaukee.
Because again, he had explained to the court, provided an explanation that the reason he had not made his child support payments is because he was serving that jail sentence in Georgia. So the court released him that day and ordered him back for a court appearance in the paternity case for December. So Judge, just based on his prior record, we obviously have very significant concerns about Mr. Brooks' flight history and willingness to obey the orders of the court. But we have to factor in, obviously, the allegations in this case as well. And obviously, I don't need to state Mr. Brooks is facing 5 consecutive life sentences if he's convicted on all counts in this.
So someone said that there was someone else who died, because we've got, I think, at this time there was 5 deaths, and a lot of mainly children and elderly people hurt.
Complaint. I wish to notify the court, sadly, that today we learned of another death of a child related to this case. We do expect a 6th count for first-degree intentional homicide to be issued or added, to this case. I can advise the court that I am aware, I've been made aware through investigators that there are other individuals in critical condition. I think we've remarked on the number of actual injured parties in our complaint. It exceeds 60 people. There's a number of other charges that we are reviewing and considering, but certainly at the very least, we do intend to file a 6th count of intentional homicide, maybe Friday or maybe early next week, depending on when we can accomplish that. Certainly, if we have any other deaths resulting from this incident, additional count of homicide will be filed. We didn't charge bail jumping. Obviously, we could have. We have focused our efforts to date on the immediate concern, and that involves the loss of life that is alleged to have occurred through the conduct of Mr. Brooks. I want this court to know, and I think the court has read the complaint. You've indicated you've read the complaint. There are not words to describe the risk that this defendant presents to our community. Not only flight risk, but the dangerousness that he presents, his history of violence, and the allegations in this complaint where it is stated plainly that on several occasions, he was told to stop by police officers. They risked their own safety to try and step in front of the car to stop him. Everything was done to get him to stop, and he just simply continued down the roadway, causing death and destruction in his path. So I am advocating for a significant cash bail, Your Honor. I'm asking for $5 million cash bail. I know that's a large amount of money, but I think it is warranted on this history, and I think it's warranted when the court considers, if convicted, Mr. Brooks will spend the rest of his life in prison.
So just a little note, the justice system is different in New Zealand. We don't have bail dollar amounts here. Either we have, yes, you get bail. You may be getting it with no conditions, or you may getting it with conditions such as curfews or GPS monitoring, or not allowed to drink and drive, or drink and drive. Of course, you're not allowed to drink and drive. You're not allowed to drink or take drugs or things like that. But you either get bail or you get denied bail. One of the two. And if you get denied bail, you're held in custody just the same. But we don't necessarily have the dollar amounts that you guys have, which makes it really different.
Thank you.
Thank you. Attorney Perry.
Thank you, Commissioner. When this court determines what amount of monetary bail is reasonable and necessary to assure Mr. Brooks's appearance in court, I guess at today's hearing, the only thing I would add for the court's consideration is that Mr. Brooks is financially indigent, does qualify for public defender representation, and that individual circumstance must be taken into account.
Does that conclude your argument?
It does.
Thank you, sir. So, first of all, let's get to conditions of bail. The monetary portion is called bail. There are conditions, though, in bail. And first, I am going to order, sir, level 4 monitoring through WCS if you do post bail. You're not to leave the confines of the state of Wisconsin. You are only to be released on a business day during business hours. He's the highest ranking sheriff, deputy sheriff.
So, Pokey, you say the judge decides if there will be bail and how much the bail is. Yeah, same with the judges here, but we don't have the option of, well, they don't set monetary amounts whatsoever. It's like you get it or you don't. If you get it, sometimes there's conditions. But he wouldn't get it here.
I would like your opinion. I would like the sheriff's department to notify WCS if he bails out that he's to immediately go over to WCS. So would it be asking too much if I had somebody from the sheriff's department contact during regular business hours WCS to let them know that he's being released? Then I'm ordering then that the sheriff's department contact immediately upon Mr. Brooks walking out the door, if that should happen, that he's on his way to WCS, which is literally a block away. If that does not happen, I want to make sure that people are aware that he did not get on the GPS monitoring device, which I am ordering. I'm ordering him to pay for that as well. Again, he's only to be released on a business day during business hours with the sheriff's department agreeing to contact WCS. If WCS doesn't.
So it's interesting, Pookie, that you said that someone set up a GoFundMe for his bail. How crass is that? How disgusting is that? Well, even that's an option that he was allowed to do that. But yeah, blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Not have Mr. Brooks come in with a matter of minutes. I would like them, I'm ordering them to then contact the sheriff's department of that. I am ordering, sir, that you not operate a motor vehicle. You may not possess any dangerous weapons or firearms. You are not to have contact with the families listed in the victim identification sheet. You are to only disseminate that information to your lawyers. Those are all the conditions of bail. If you violate any condition of bail, including failing to return to court, separate bail jumping charges could be issued against you. In reviewing 969.01 of the Wisconsin statutes and 969.001 that talk about bail and release, the statute reads that there should be reasonable conditions designated to assure his or her appearance at court, Mr. Brooks, protect members of the community from serious bodily harm. And those are the conditions that I just laid out. That bail may be imposed at or after the initial appearance. There should be a reasonable basis to believe that bail is necessary to assure appearance in court. Some of the things to be considered by the court with the conditions of bail are the number and gravity of the offenses, the potential penalty the defendant faces, whether or not the allegations are violent in nature, the prior record of the defendant, character and strength of the evidence which has been presented to the court, whether the defendant is already on bail or subject to other release conditions in other pending cases, and whether or not there's any violations of those release conditions.
Little Pokey says, who would and why start a GoFundMe for him? They have to be deranged. Yes, there's something seriously wrong. Maybe it's his family. And of course, if it's your family member in that position, you would want them on bail or out on bail as well and have them in your life at your Thanksgiving table. But I'm surprised GoFundMe themselves let it happen. And how anybody, I'm not saying it was the family, but anybody that made the GoFundMe thought that it was a sort of good idea. Pam, I'm glad you had a great dinner, sweetheart. UK, you can be released on bail at the police station after you've been charged. You'll be able to go home until your hearing. Yeah, I've watched, I don't know, some cop show. It's a UK cop show that I've watched. You might have to agree to conditions like giving your passport up so you can't leave the UK. Right. Let's listen a bit more.
Reviewing the criminal complaint, the allegations are such that I read that two detectives opined that this was an intentional act, that the vehicle seemed to swerve into individuals, actually at one point trying to avoid other vehicles. That the detectives are listed as Detective Casey and Detective Chusoni, who again opined that the actions they observed, in their opinion, were intentional. We now have 5. Attorney Opper informed us of a 6th, but that's not here before us today. 5 people that are deceased.
Yeah, 5 people that are deceased, and the 6th one, a child. Mullet says, I just looked up GoFundMe pages for the victims. So many kids hurt or deceased. I'm glad GoFundMe removed this evil man's page. The audacity of someone to even create one is astounding. Yeah, I don't get that. I know that from what I heard or what I read, that he bolted in his car. He drove through children's marching band, and then there was some Milwaukee grandmas, and I can't remember the name of them, but it was full of elderly, well, not elderly, maybe mature women, grandmothers in the community, and apparently these are really loved members of the Milwaukee community too, and some of them were killed and indeed injured. So yeah, just disgusting all round.
We have a gentleman that has a huge background via multiple states. Just going through some of the Wisconsin cases, they're violent. We have substantial battery, DC, strangulation, suffocation, resisting. Pending cases, which the statute I just read references that I should consider: second degree, reckless endangering safety while armed, felon in possession of a firearm. Attorney Opper told me that the gun apparently was a stolen handgun. Those are allegations. He's out on bail on that. Also out on bail on the Milwaukee case ending 4596, where he's charged with second degree reckless endangering safety, disorderly conduct and battery, and resisting. And then we get into Nevada: battery, the domestic violence, the sexual assault, the sex offender registration violation, and then the battery in Georgia. Other considerations are on WCS, their report indicates level 4 monitoring, which is the highest level of monitoring that we have. And in that report, it does indicate there have been failures to appear other than 2 years old, and then sentenced to incarceration prior, yes. Current violent felony, yes. Or offense, yes. Any charges at the time of this offense, yes.
Pam said, TJ, I don't know if I couldn't start one for my situation or you wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, everybody, I guess everybody's entitled to ask for help for anything, and it's up to people whether they give or not, just as a, yeah. But having him there, I think, is too much.
Prior misdemeanor convictions, yes. Prior felony convictions, yes. Prior violent conduct or conviction, yes. Prior violent convictions, 3 or more. So there have been missed court dates, although none in the past 2 years, but then we just heard about a rather significant duration of a 6-month stay in Georgia and custody there. In the recitation by Attorney Opper, we have things that causes the court some cause for concern: resisting. Again, these are things that would cause me to feel that this gentleman does not follow rules very well. Orders of the court, orders of society, resisting an officer. There's a bail jump in 2012. There's a bail jump charged in the 4596 case. There is in the 2550 case, again, the felon in possession of a firearm. All those things are just societal, legal issues, also orders of the court in some instances that are not being followed. While out on bail on 2 rather significant allegations, we are now faced with 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. So when I look at that, I look at the gravity of the offenses, the maximum.
I'm unaware of, I didn't have time to look into it. I'm unaware of how many people are hurt in intensive care or anything like that, because, you know, there may be more people that die, sadly, just as the Travis Scott Astroworld disaster. Many hurt. That could mean more deaths. That's very sad.
Possible penalties as the statute allows for: likelihood of incarceration, which, if you're found guilty of 1 or more of these, even 1 would put you in prison for the rest of your life.
He has.
I believe you are a flight risk. There's failure to follow court orders. This allegation, although the motive is not known, and I'm not entitled to know what that is, but it looks like there was either panic or whatever, or an intentional act for whatever reason. You don't do well under pressure. The Milwaukee County case talks about as Attorney Hopper indicated, you using a vehicle to run over another person with your vehicle. So you don't respond well to what is common sense within our community, our society. So based on that, you're out on bail. Those smallish bails that you were out on didn't do very well. Before I forget, there is Marcy's Law. I understand that although there are the statute and the Constitution now defines deceased victims to allow for family members to speak. So Attorney Hopper, I was told that nobody wishes to speak. We have a number of people from the families. And is that still your understanding?
I'll just confirm that, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, I'm getting confirmation. Nobody wishes to speak to the court at this time, but thank you for your
on your right. So, ma'am, I would ask that the victim witness individual from the DA's office see who this is without divulging who it is and what relation to what victim she is.
Thanks, Mullet. That's terrible. Pam, it was cold this morning. I've got 2 fans going. I am sitting here sweating my balls off because we are going into our summer. So I prefer the cold than the summer, but not as cold as cold. Makes sense, right? In my head it does. Does he plead in this attendance? Do you know? Court appearance? Oh, you heard it was cold there this morning, Pam. I read that wrong. Anytime. I like the winter better. Hate summer.
While that is being discussed, I neglected to order DNA be taken. The sample of your DNA, sir, has not been taken. I am ordering that now. It may be expunged if you meet the criterion under the Wisconsin statute. Sir, you Daisy, where are we?
We're fine to proceed. She does not wish to visit.
Okay. Thank you. Checking. Thank you, ma'am. The family is always welcome. You do, under the law of the state of Wisconsin, as well as under the amended Constitution, have the right to speak at proceedings germane to the particular proceedings that we're at. So with that, I will set bail. I have no problem with the bail being recommended by the state. I'm an old guy who has been doing this for almost 40 years. DA's office, criminal defense attorney, 17, 18 years as a commissioner, both in Milwaukee and now in Waukesha. The nature of this offense is shocking. Actually, the detail I was not expecting here today, that two detectives, not lay people, detectives, not only tried to stop this, but rendered an opinion that this was an intentional act.
So what I can gather, the shots were fired from police too when he did it.
You're presumed innocent, sir, but that's what the allegations are. And I've not seen anything like this in my very long career. It seems to be a very strong case for the state.
Good night, Pam.
Likelihood of incarceration, which is the other aspect of bail, is absolute. If you are
Have a
found
good
guilty
sleep.
of any one of these, a multitude of them, it's a life imprisonment sentence that must be meted out. So I have no problem.
So I'll leave the description. No, I always say it back to front. I'll leave the link in the description box below. But I'm going to go to, I'm really sorry that I went late. The migraine was just so bad this morning. But as I put in my community post also, I'm going to take a week off. My body seems to just be shutting down at the moment. I'm not getting the sleep I need. I've spread myself a bit thin, and my day job is what I need to survive. And I've got some extra responsibilities coming up there that I need to be on top of my game for. So I need to get some sleep and some rest. So I need about a week or so. I'll hope. I mean, it might not even last that long because I want to come on and say hello. So we'll see how it goes. But please go to my Facebook page. Come and have a look. You can message me through there. If you want to join the membership or donate, there's links in the description box below. Go and watch all the videos I've made. There's hours and hours of them. You can make fun of me when I used to wear a wig and sunglasses at the beginning because it's weird as shit. And the live streams that we have had some fun making, and usually cover cold cases from around the world rather than New Zealand. I save that for my videos. So there's lots to go and see and check out. Thank you so much for the ones that were able to pop in today. I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody around the world, even if you don't celebrate it. We could all be thankful for something. Stay safe, be kind to someone today, and be kind to yourself. nzmissing@gmail.com. That's where you can get hold of me as well. So, yeah. Keep in touch, guys. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Thank you so much. I'm sorry to those that I bungled this up for. Boggled? I don't know. Effed it up for some people anyway, that couldn't come and see us as we had planned. But take care, guys.